thing about Ryan that I like is even if he's posturing, I'm the A side, Ryan is willing to do things to make fights happen. He was willing essentially to say Tank could be the A side. Yep. Like, let's make the fight happen. So whatever Ryan's saying, I have confidence that he'll do what it takes to make the fight happen.
The fact that Ryan, has gone through 3 top trainers that would have done a great job, Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James.
Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
He gonna win this fight. He gonna win this fight. He gonna win this fight.
I don't know.
He got to.
Guys, it's time for the most electrifying segment.
The assignment was to get him out of there, and he didn't do it.
But Tim, you mentioned the stylistic thing. Conor Benn is, he showed a lot to me against Eubank in the rematch. But he is not, I don't think, the athletic talent that Ryan Garcia is. No. He's not as explosive or as fast as Ryan Garcia. Very few are. So, Shady, if you were up against, a safety, a matchup, a safety in the NFL, then he wasn't much. You had such athletic quality, you were going to eat that day, right? You might go for 125, 130 yards, whatever it is, and a couple of touchdowns, because you're like, this guy isn't anything. But that's because your athletic quality was pitched as high as it gets.
See, I mean, it's great to talk about it. But Ryan is feared out there, and people don't even know that.
Ryan Garcia.
Is it good? It's been going on this long.
Touch on that a little bit, because people see Ryan Garcia, they see the social media following, they see the pretty boy look.
They know he can fight, though.
Are they deceived?
They know he can fight. They know he can fight.
His peers.
Fighters know. Absolutely. Yeah. They're sad in their own way, but they know he can fight. They know he can fight. You know what? Why would you want to make a quick $5+ million knowing that guy can't fight? Get him out of the way.
Yeah.
Get it over with. Make a quick bag of money.
You want to squash the beef? For real?
We don't have no beef.
Okay, there we go then.
We don't have no beef.
There we go.
We see, when it comes to knowing, and my partner can verify this, Oscar, when it comes to knowing greatness, I lost my first pro fight, and I told Ryan in the dressing room, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Who I got, Ryan or Conor Benn? I for sure got Ryan. I ain't gonna lie, easy money. I think that'll be fairly easy for Ryan. I think Conor just too small, and then Ryan big, and he's fast as hell, so it's just gonna be a lot to deal with for Conor, I think.
Who's winning September 12th? I think Garcia's gonna knock out Benn. I think he's gonna knock him out.
Not me.
I think Benn's gonna knock him out, fool. Yeah.
I think Benn's gonna win.
You're just fucking out doing fucking WWE shit. You're not taking that training.
And I've been seeing
Nah,
Conor
he
Benn
is,
going
fool. He
hard.
always does that shit though, fool.
I've been seeing Conor Benn going hard at gym.
Nah, I still think Ryan's gonna knock him out, fool.
And Conor Benn has more heart.
Nah, fool, but Conor Benn gets drained, fool, at 47, fool.
Yeah, but he has more heart.
Too drained, fool. It doesn't matter, fool. Ryan's gonna catch him, bop, and then he's too drained.
I mean, it's the battle of the PEDs, some would say, not me. That's a mean-spirited thing to say, and I wouldn't say it, right? But at 147, I think Garcia's too good, don't you?
We are talking about levels here, and Ryan Garcia is proven at that level. For Conor Benn, it's a coming-of-age fight.
Did he swallow it against Davis?
No, Gervonta Davis, yeah.
Gervonta Davis. And Carl Froch's never forgotten, has he? Because he says he could have got up. He could have got up. He chose not to get up.
Yeah.
So if it's there once, as you boys would say, it'd be there again, and Conor can bang, can't he?
Well, that's the makeup of people. Yeah, Conor can bang at a certain level, at a certain weight, but can he bang at 147? Is he a world-class puncher at 147?
When fans talk about the clash between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn, the conversation usually revolves around Ryan's blinding speed against Benn's relentless pressure. But what most casual viewers are completely overlooking is that a Hall of Fame legend from Ryan's own promotional team has...
I think somebody's gonna get knocked out. I think both their styles, when you match them up, like I told you early on, you got Benn, who can punch, right? And anybody that can punch always tends to put Ryan on the defense, right? We haven't seen that scary shit. Remember, Barrios couldn't punch like that, when he turns his back like this and going that scary shit.
Luke Campbell dropped him too.
Luke Campbell dropped him. But I feel like
Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, by the way.
Yes.
I feel like Benn has a chance because he has a right hand, good right hand, a strong right hand. I think the pressure that he puts on
he has an engine.
Well, yeah, he keeps going, and you see the will that he has.
Conor's mental is strong.
Yeah. He's mentally strong. However, If he gets past that left hook, he got to get past that left hook. It's going to be a punch. I believe that's going to be a definitive punch in this fight against.
I'm going to go with Ben. I think the aggressive, and he's going to have that approach, and he's going to be real aggressive on him and put pressure on Ryan.
Okay.
You know, and I just keep going back to, I watched the Rolly fight. Like, he took the left hook away, and I didn't think Rolly can do that, right? And then I think Ben is a lot better than Rolly. Another thing is...
You don't think he's gotten better since the Rolly fight? You know,
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan against Barrios. This is what Tim just addressed, the idea that he became more three-dimensional against Barrios.
But my thing is, Barrios just stood there in front of me. Like, I don't know how y'all judge Barrios. I don't know how y'all do it. I see. He didn't show me much.
I don't think there's a top 10 fighter who give less than a
He didn't let his hands... At this point,
the question is two-sided when it comes to, well, Ryan didn't get up, Oscar didn't get up. It was both body shots. That is the debate. The blame game and responsibility and ownership, that's the man.
That was my question.
Hold up. That's the man in Oscar. And that's the boy in Ryan. The boy and the man. We ain't talking about hair on your, you know what? We ain't talking about hair on your arm. That's brutal. We talking about how do you handle a situation of this magnitude as a man.
Bernard Hopkins didn't just critique Ryan's defense. He pointed out a biomechanical flaw so glaring that it essentially handed Conor Benn a roadmap to an upset. If you look closely at the tape, Ryan has one structural habit that he simply refuses to fix. And against a fighter built like Benn, that single habit could cost him everything.
When you listen to what Garcia is saying, he's saying you're not on my level. You don't belong here. And that lets you think that, oh, really? Conor's 100% got a puncher's chance. And he's got a bit more than a puncher's chance. The work rate alone and how fit he is gives him every chance in the world to just outwork Ryan Garcia. But ultimately, Ryan Garcia is pound for pound the fastest fighter in the world. And he's got one of the best left hooks. And if Conor gets caught by that, it's over.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What did you think to how Conor looked on the scales against Prograis? Do you think he'll have any issues like we just mentioned with Roy Jones coming back down? Because he's obviously had the chance to do it over a long period of time.
He's a diligent profession. And I said, it's like Anthony Joshua when we see him now. Perfect on the scales, they look in unbelievable shape.
Garcia, Benn, I mean, a lot of people saying that Garcia's too skilled.
Ryan knocks him out. The fight doesn't go 6 rounds, in my opinion. Ryan knocks him out.
Why is that? Is that the disparity in skill?
Yeah, I mean, disparity in skill, disparity in power. I don't think Conor Benn's that good, bro. I mean, I think it's obvious he's not that good, but, you know, Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter. You know, when he's motivated and he's pushing himself, and I think, you know, as a champion, Ryan will understand the responsibility on his shoulders as well to elevate his game. He's already at a very good level. He's already a very good fighter. But this fight is an opportunity for him to make a statement because he's fighting a guy who's got a big name, but also a guy who probably doesn't belong in the ring with him. And so I think he's got a chance to do something.
The root of the problem comes down to what Hopkins famously described as the blue heron stance. Instead of bending at the knees, setting a wide base, and changing levels like a traditional counterpuncher, Ryan fights completely erect. Hopkins warned that standing straight up with your chin elevated like a tall, skinny water bird is an...
Yeah. I don't see him going in there and being able to outbox him.
He won't try that.
He's got to give everything he's got. I think he could have some successful rounds early on in the fight. The danger for him is, if he does get knocked out in 6 or 7 rounds, where does he go from there in this route map with Zuffa Boxing? Because he ends up in a cul-de-sac for me.
I totally understand that, Gareth, but I think that, like I say, like this kid's drive is something quite different. You know, he wants to come out of his father's shoes. This is his massive moment. He wants to win the fans back over as well. You know, he had that terrible time where everyone's turned against him. The online abuse he gets. If he gets his WBC title, that's the motivation.
Oh, he'll win over all the haters.
He can win them all back over.
There's no question. That's a very good point.
And you can't question the kid's desire and heart, grit, determination. That makes him dangerous. He can whack as well.
I mean, listen, there's the lucky punch, of course there is, but Conor has not boxed at 147 for 4 years, and when you're trying to make weight and you have to drag to make weight, takes away your A game. Even his A game, I'm not so sure would be Ryan Garcia, because Garcia is a much improved champion now. Since getting that belt wrapped around his waist, I think he's a much improved champion. He's mixed at a higher level. All right, he hasn't won all of his fights, Garcia, but he's beaten some quality fighters that are much better than Conor Benn. I mean, Conor's done a great job in terms of A, getting paid, and B, talking himself into a world title fight. I don't know who does that. I don't know who's done that before, previously, but he's managed to do it.
Lightweight and super lightweight classes, Garcia's advantages in height and reach encouraged him to adopt an upright, orthodox stance.
Engage in order to get points.
While effective against lesser opponents, this posture can be exploited by experienced sharpshooters who know how to disrupt his rhythm. This issue is further compounded by his tendency to drop his hands while keeping his head relatively static. As a result, he is often vulnerable to clean shots that leave him exposed and off balance. Also be limited, going forward and backwards in straight lines. This weakens both his defense and his ability to cut off the ring, making it harder for him to control high-level fights.
And we've seen in the past where Ryan Garcia has a tendency to pull straight back in a linear position. Can at times...
Despite his speed and power, he has shown little comfort fighting on the inside. While his matchmaking has rarely forced him into that scenario, this part of his game does remain underdeveloped.
In lower weight classes, Ryan's hand speed allowed him to get away with this upright posture, but against heavy-handed welterweights who thrive on closing the distance, fighting tall without a defensive base leaves the entire lower half of...
But we've seen him carry power down at 147. We saw him carry power against Chris van der Herden. We saw him carry power against Chris Algieri. We saw him carry power against Samuel Vargas. If we see that translation, then we might see something different than we expect from Conor, maybe not?
Absolutely. Listen, at the peak of his powers, if he can deliver that sort of performance, then of course he's got a shot, because we've seen Ryan Garcia, against Mario Barrios, he didn't look particularly good. He looked very flat in that fight. So we've seen him when he's not looked particularly good. So of course he has an opportunity, but can he carry that power at 147? Is he that fighter at 147? We all know what happened.
Has he got a built-in excuse, Spence? Has he got a built-in excuse, which basically means, and am I being cynical here, because he won't be thinking like this as a fighter?
It's hard to fight fighters that have a lot of speed, and I'm one of them, especially from the heavyweight division. But he has that explosive left hook and all that. And Conor, if he smothers his punches, make it awkward where Ryan can't throw those shots that he's really good at. It could go either way, man. It could go either way. I think that fight's a 50-50, but you never know,
What do you tell the fans about Ryan? You know him very well. You've seen him in the gym. One thing that they might not know about Ryan that you observed while being in the same gym as him.
Well, it's just that he works hard, He works hard. He does his thing. I don't know him too personally like that, but they're all good guys.
I always say in the gym, there's do's and don'ts, there's no-nos. One of the no-nos that I'll get in the ring and I'll spend 5 hours in a row teaching a guy if I have to, where you don't lead with left hooks. I don't care how good your left hook is. I don't care if it's Joe Frazier's left hook. You don't lead with your left hook in front of a guy, because when you do, a straight punch can beat you. It's that simple, because you leave an opening. And you shouldn't give up defense for offense, in my world, and anyone's world, if they're teaching properly, I believe, in this game of the sweet science, the art of pugilism. It's an art. So that moment came where he led with a left hook, he being, of course, Ryan Garcia.
That upright posture breeds an even more dangerous defensive habit whenever Ryan is forced onto the back foot, retreating in straight lines. When an aggressive opponent presses forward, elite defensive fighters pivot off their back foot to create lateral angles and escape the ropes. Ryan, however, habitually hops straight backward with his...
Conor Benn has a style that matches what Ryan is good. the style clash favors Ryan Garcia because of his speed, because of his power from the outside. So definitely a tough fight for Conor Benn. Again, based off of Ryan's last fight, I would say 60-40. Ryan Garcia wins that fight, possibly KO, but Conor is very, very tough. And that's what I already knew about him, but I got to see it firsthand when we sparred. He's much more versatile than we saw in the first fight with Eubank. Comes back in a rematch against Eubank. We see the versatility, we see the speed, the foot movement, and things of that nature. Those were the things that I saw in sparring when I sparred with him. Just 4 easy rounds or whatever.
I don't think that it's gonna be that easy. I think that Ryan can probably beat him, but not gonna be easy. And I'm like tit for tat, like in that fight. Like I really think it's like an even fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Ryan's got a much deeper amateur background. He got the left hook and all that, but
has Conor Benn quit?
no, he is not.
And that's all you gotta think. Like, whenever you think about that, all you gotta think is that. Has Conor Benn quit?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
Let me ask you a question. Has Ryan Garcia quit?
There are concerns that Garcia may have already plateaued. As he's moved up in weight, he has grown physically stronger, but his technical development has not progressed at the same rate. This becomes crucial, as strong fundamentals are what sustain fighters when natural gifts begin to decline.
I was still trying to figure out where the disconnect was in my body. Because in the training camp, I couldn't train hard or good for more than 2 days straight. My body would be like rejecting a run, rejecting anything I was doing. It was like, damn.
At the highest level, when required to fully demonstrate his potential, he has fallen.
Body shot. And he goes down. And now Campbell is down on a knee. 2 knees.
Against Luke Campbell, Garcia showed resilience to recover from a knockdown and secure a stoppage. Yet even in victory, signs of his defensive weaknesses were clear.
And it was that against the ropes. That upright stance leaves his midsection wide open. A vulnerability Gervonta Tank Davis famously turned into a fight-ending blueprint. Because Ryan fights tall with a narrow base, his elbows naturally flare away from his ribs whenever he prepares to launch an offensive combination. Hopkins noted that Ryan's liver and ribcage are consistently left exposed to short, compact counters.
Treat him. Touch the body.
Nah, put pressure on him too.
Okay, yeah.
Put pressure on him too. But what I'm saying by that is because we're talking about quitting
with Xander earlier, and you said he didn't quit. So there is a difference. But you felt what Xander did with Boots than what Ryan did with Gervonta Davis.
No. I don't think that Xander's quit.
Yeah, I know you said that earlier. Xander did not.
No.
But you're saying what Ryan did against Tank, that's different.
Did he go on one knee?
Yes.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Okay. So what's that called?
When he was in that 7th round when Garcia again, he had no business being that close. It's a battle of geography, my friend. He had no business, and that's got to be drummed into his head in the gym. I'm sorry, in camp, it's got to be drummed into his head. You've been in camp with me. When I had fighters that were too close, that wasn't supposed to be close, I would jump in the ring. I would literally jump in. Stop! Jump in the ring in the middle of sparring. But I'm doing good. No, you're not. You're not doing what you need to do. You might be doing good on the inside for the next 30 seconds, but 40 seconds from now, he's going to be doing good. You don't belong there. You're not going to win this fight fighting in there. Get on the freaking outside. And then I would let him start sparring again. Yeah, it's a tough business. Yeah, you got to do that sometimes. The consequences are awful unforgiving, awful tough. So I don't care if I got in there and bothered him. I bothered him on purpose to correct something right there when it had to be corrected. And again, the guy might be doing good on the inside. I don't care. If our battle plan was to win the fight and know we had an advantage and a disadvantage on the inside and an advantage on the outside, I didn't let him do it. I don't care if he was having success for a fleeting moment, a fleeting freaking moment. And that's what it was. Where again, in the 7th round, he's in close. You don't belong there. You don't belong there. I don't care if you can win for 10 seconds. You don't belong there. And what happens? While he's there, he throws a punch. And when you throw a punch, you expose something. He exposed his body. He threw the right hand. The elbow came up. He exposed the body. Tank was in close proximity, which he wanted, which it shouldn't have been, but it was. It was good for Tank, bad for Garcia. And what's he do? He times him perfectly.
In an effort to patch up that ribcage vulnerability after the Davis loss, Ryan experimented with a Floyd Mayweather-style Philly shell and shoulder roll defense. But on tape, that defensive experiment looked more like a trap than a solution. The shoulder roll requires immense spinal flexibility, subtle waist bending, and constant...
He fought Devin Haney. But I guarantee you, he won't be failing nothing at this because there's so much money at stake in this. He just can't afford to do it. And although, it's massive numbers, his biggest numbers and his biggest pay to date is facing Tank. And he didn't fail a thing for Tank. So, and let's not forget, he rocked Tank as well. Tank felt the shot. Because I think Tank's the most exciting fighter in the world. I think Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis. I just, when he fights, I want to see him. I don't think he's a nice human being, but I think he's the most exciting fighter in the whole world. And he was able to go in and scare Tank. He was able to go in and make Tank.
Philly shell is in a purely defensive stance. The rolling of the left shoulder allows a fighter to counter quickly with the right hand. Now let's look at Garcia's Philly shell against Oscar Duarte. When Garcia shells up, he turns away from his opponent before they've even thrown anything towards his head. The timing is all wrong. He ends up frozen in the position that you would want to be at the precise moment that your opponent is throwing, so that you can roll the shot and counter with your own. At one point, Duarte even gets warned for hitting Garcia in the back, but his shots are only landing there because Garcia is turning away so dramatically.
Like to make fun of the defense, I could show you a million videos of Mayweather turning his back. I could make a whole real highlight of it. I don't need to explain myself. I wasn't getting hit.
The obvious difference is that when Mayweather turns, he's in a position to either counter or defend against the follow-up attack. Ryan just leans back and away. Not only is he incapable of blocking Duarte's shots, he's also totally out of position to counter and can't really see what's coming at him. Given his less than perfect execution, it's no surprise that Derek James told Garcia to abandon the
single time Ryan throws his trademark left hook. There is no denying that his left hook is one of the most dangerous weapons in modern boxing, but it comes with a massive defensive tax. The moment Ryan snaps that hook, his lead hand routinely drops back toward his waist instead of return.
If he's not on it, because he's already underestimating Conor. You see, I've seen a little bit in the press comments, you're not at this level. And I know people say things and certain stuff, but when you say things like that and of that kind of ilk, you're kind of saying, I know you're not very good. And I understand why he thinks that, because when you look at Conor and you think you're wild, you're raw, you're so open. But then I've seen a different side to him in the Eubank rematch. It's a side that can stick to a game plan, a side that can box. And I'm not saying he's turning to Sugar Ray Leonard, because he's never going to be that. But just to be able to stick Chris Eubank Jr. on a jab for 12 rounds and stick to the game plan, that takes a certain kind of mentality to do that.
Kel, you mentioned about Conor before, and it's in
to drop his right hand whenever he throws big shots, which a lot of fighters have capitalized on. In fact, he's so fast, he purely relies on his speed as a form of defense rather than actually prioritizing real defense. His shots get off so quick that his opponents don't necessarily have a chance to capitalize on them, because by the time they've realized the shot's coming, it's already hit. And the truth is, Ryan Garcia has never really had to think about having any real defense, not until he stepped up the level of competition. When fighting fighters like Luke Campbell, Gervonta Davis, even Devin Haney rocked him, because these are all fighters that know how to capitalize on his mistakes. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say that Conor Benn is that much of a smart fighter compared to Devin Haney or Gervonta Davis, nor do I think he's skilled enough to necessarily capitalize on them. He's definitely ferocious enough and has a high enough output to land something on Ryan Garcia, similarly to how Rolly Romero did. Now, Rolly is by no means a skilled fighter or a high IQ fighter at all. He gets exposed by every fighter at that top level. However, he was able to beat Ryan Garcia due to his awkward style and Ryan's lack of defense. Now, people thought Ryan should have dog-walked Rolly, but that wasn't necessarily the case, and I actually think that Rolly Romero's style was perfectly suited to fight someone like Ryan Garcia. The punches from different angles, the weird positions, the punches that you don't see coming from an awkward fighter like Rolly, it's perfect on someone like Ryan Garcia who drops his hand and leaves his chin in the air.
When an opponent anticipates the hook and slips underneath it, Ryan is left standing straight up with his left side low and his chin exposed to overhand rights and short hooks over the top. This combination of an upright stance, straight line footwork, and a dropped lead hand makes Conor
Benn against Ryan Garcia. I think Conor Benn gets absolutely splattered. I've got to be honest, I don't think he's got a chance. He's not there yet, and I've said it before, and he gets the ump with me for saying it. But who's he beat? What's he done? Who's his biggest win?
Chris Eubank.
You can't say it's a big win. This guy finished Eubank years ago, and Eubank lost a couple of fights. He got battered by Liam Smith, and that's a level. It's like, what's Eubank done to warrant Conor Benn saying, I'm ready for world titles like this against this guy? I know he's just now become a new world champion, and it'd be a good fight, but for me, I just think Ryan Garcia.
Ben has a high level of output and comes in guns blazing looking for a knockout, and every shot he throws being a knockout punch. He could very likely land something on Ryan Garcia, and it's not like Conor Benn is a soft puncher. He is known for having ferocious knockout power, and it depends how Ryan Garcia appears on fight night, on how well he'll react to those. And that brings me straight onto my second point, Ryan Garcia's mental state. I actually believe that Conor Benn having a chance of winning this fight is more on Ryan Garcia than it is Conor Benn. Like I said, I feel that Ryan Garcia's tools are way better than Conor Benn's. I feel like he's a better, more complete fighter. However, we just don't know what kind of Ryan Garcia will get until fight night. And that's why there was such a big question mark on his last fight with Barrios, because Barrios is a tough warrior, but on paper, Ryan Garcia should be clearing a fighter like Mario Barrios, in which thankfully he did, but we just didn't know because his last fight with Rolly Romero, he was a heavy favorite, but he still ended up losing. Not to mention that was literally his next fight after his career-defining performance to Devin Haney, in which I know there was a lot of controversy whether he was juiced or not, but still, that was a great performance from Ryan Garcia, and so many people expected that same Garcia to turn up against Rolly, but he just didn't. And he's already mentioned that he wasn't 100% there when training for the Rolly fight. He wasn't completely dedicated, he wasn't committed to the sport fully. And he proved against Mario Barrios that he can have a quick turnaround, get back into it, and have the best performance of his career. Because let's face it, Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, in my opinion, was his best performance. He really showcased that he can box, not just have fast, lightning, one-punch knockout power.
The tension surrounding Ryan's defensive flaws has even triggered a civil war behind the scenes between Ryan and his own promoters. At multiple press conferences, Ryan has openly clashed with Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, pushing back against their advice and claiming he doesn't need their technical criticism. But Hopkins didn't back down.
I agree, it's a fight I'd want to see.
Yeah.
Conor Benn against Ryan Garcia, I want to see it, but I just think it's a dangerous fight for Conor Benn, and I don't think he wants to be chucked in with a dangerous fight straight away. I think you need an interim fight at world level before you jump in with someone like Garcia.
It's a bigger fight than the Shakur fight.
Yeah. And more winnable.
And more winnable. So yeah, it's more dangerous in some ways, but it's more winnable in others. And I mean that's a fight that I would be really excited for, to be honest. I'd really, because I think Conor Benn, whether like he's limited or unproven in certain ways, he's got an exciting style, and he's good to watch. He's fun to watch, and he's coming off a massive high. And he's a much better fighter now than he was a year ago, just through having those two camps, fights, the whole process against Eubank, performing on the highest stage, coming back from a loss to avenge it in a great way. And maybe it might be flattering because Chris Eubank was so finished, but I think the Garcia fight, I think it's a great.
Man, a couple things that I want to touch. You know, one thing that's been on my heart is the statements that Bernard made, where he'll decide if I'm gonna finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He don't decide that. My coach does, my team does, everybody that grinds with me day in and day out. That's who decides, and ultimately God decides, not him. Nobody was telling him when to stop boxing. He stopped boxing at 45, so kudos to him. But he don't determine that. And another thing I want to touch on is you know, Oscar's saying that, you know, we misinterpret, you know, what they say. It's plain English. I didn't hear anybody speaking any language I don't know. So, you know, it's very clear to me that, you know, they're backing this guy to beat me just like they thought Duno was going to beat me. He was the next Filipino star. They saying he's the next Mexican star. You know what? I put everything into this fight. You know, for the first time, I'm extremely committed in a long time. You know, 2021 was one of the times it kind of broke me. 2022, you know, changed me. 2023 opened my eyes. I'm about to come back for everything. You know, I'm just lasered and I'm laser focused, and that's where my confidence comes from.
While Ryan dismissed the critiques as haters talking, veteran analysts know that Hopkins wasn't speaking out of malice. He was trying to warn a young superstar that durability alone.
100%. Oof. Got to ask you, Conor, Benn, Ryan Garcia, what do you make of that so far? Did you see all the Versace podcast or anything yet? Maybe not, because you've probably been locked in for fight week, but
I mean, I've seen bits and bobs, but it's you get what you get from Conor, and I guess Garcia's an American. He's a dangerous fella to fight. He's got quick hands. He's got that explosive, snappy power, and it could. I mean, I think this fight's going to catch fire straight away. I don't think there's going to be no feeling out process, but it's whoever makes the right choices at the right time.
is this where we really find out what level Conor Benn is? And just to follow on from that, what level is he in your opinion?
What level he is? I believe if Garcia performs to the absolute best, then I can't see past the win for Garcia. I think Conor's probably British European level. I think he's that sort of level. But he's there to prove us all wrong. So,
but by saying that, you're essentially saying if Ryan turns up with the right head on, he'll beat Conor.
I think so. Obviously, you got to root for the Brit, but I mean, yeah, it's me head sort of.
Talk to a few of my, I'll say, future champions, mainly, you know, about where they're going to go and what they would like to do next. And they want to be one day main event. They want to go to the top card. So why did I say that? Because this is a moment for all the ones that's on the undercard to be main event soon. One thing for sure, I've been 28 years in this business of boxing, in the ring. 28 years in the ring. I believe I got sleep. One thing about boxing, I close with this, it will carve your buff.
Even with Hopkins' blueprint out in the open, there is a physical reality that could prevent Benn from executing it. Conor Benn's former promoter, Eddie Hearn, dropped a bombshell warning that Benn might actually be walking into a physical trap of his own. Hearn pointed out that Benn hasn't squeezed down to the 147-pound welterweight limit.
And why, honestly, that's up in the air, man. I would like to see Conor Benn actually put on a good showing and good fight for Ryan, and actually give him some challenges there. You know, obviously Conor Benn didn't look as exciting and as great against an experienced fighter like Regis Prograis. You know, definitely gave him something to fight and earn for in that fight. But and then you see Ryan, he swept the floor on Barrios. So if we see the same Ryan that we saw in Barrios, I think he's unbeatable. Right?
It doesn't excite me at all, really. It's none other than a big fight. It's a big commercial fight. You know, Ryan Garcia is huge commercially. So is Conor Benn. Boxing ability-wise, I think Ryan Garcia probably knocks him out. Unless everything's all good and all that, you know. But I think that Ryan Garcia is just a better boxer. He's quicker, he's sharper, he's got more experience in the game. I don't think Conor Benn has done well, has improved a hell of a lot. He's quick, he's stronger, he's bigger and stronger than Ryan Garcia. But going off that last performance, I don't think Garcia's got anything to worry about. I think Garcia probably knocks him out after that last performance.
Is there any route for Conor in your mind? Because we saw Ryan have flat performances, the Rolando Romero fighting Conor. up until the move up to 160 and trying to come back down to welterweight when he fought Benn?
There is that. Like, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's coming back down to 147. Well, it wasn't 147, 148 or 149, was it? Well, it was 150. It was it? Oh well. I thought it was maybe a little bit lighter than that, but. Right. Okay. So we went at 149. But then it goes another. It's coming down for 160, and after having all them. I don't know what to say, you know, because I might get a court case on my ass. But hey, it is what it is. He's done it properly. He's not looked as good. But it might be a case of his body adjusting to being so heavy and taking off that muscle mass. It takes a bit of time to adjust to losing that weight again and getting your body used to it and being at that weight and performing and with the training load and all that at that weight. So it's maybe just a case of that. You know, he's done it now. Hopefully he's been in the gym. I don't know what he's like. Hopefully he's still staying in the gym and he's not put on too much weight. And he can probably get back down to 147 then after that. So it remains to be.
So while Benn has the stylistic tools to exploit Ryan's open ribs, the grueling weight cut raises serious questions about whether his chin and stamina can hold up under fire.
Same Ryan that we saw in Barrios, I think he's unbeatable right now. So, you know, it should be a great fight though. Overall, people should definitely tune in. And you know, the only thing that's the downside of that is it's not on the zone everywhere.
Well,
that's the only downside.
You know, Terrence Crawford noted he's questioning Ryan's focus heading into this fight. And to be fair to Terrence, like, his body looked better at this stage of camp heading into the Barrios fight. Just looking at him physically, his body right now, about 6 weeks out from the fight, looks more like it did heading into the upset loss to Roll.
In September, we'd be hoping for a Mexico win against England.
Well, is it Mexico? I don't know. Yeah, sorry, yeah. United States. But yeah, no, look, I want Conor Benn to win the fight. Like, he's a Brit. You know, I know we're disappointed with how it played out, but I just don't think he does. You know, I think he's going to be a live dog. He trains hard. He's full of. I don't like him at 147. I know how hard it was for him to make that weight a couple of years ago, and now having boxed at 160 twice to come down to 150 or 51 or whatever he was for program, really not look good. Just think 47 against a puncher. You know, it's a tough task, but listen, he's game. Do
you reckon he gets stopped?
I don't want to say, but I think that's the likely scenario, yeah. But again, he's game, you know, and he's improving. He's put the work in.
When the bell rings, the fight will hinge on which fighter's structural gamble fails first. Benn's path to victory requires him to absorb or slip that opening flurry, herd Ryan into the ropes without eating a check hook, and ruthlessly target the body before Ryan can adjust. But if Ryan's power commands respect early and Benn's gas tank empties from the weight cut, Ryan could easily silence his